Behind the cape. Oh, you're not doing it today? You're not doing the...
My bad.
No, it's too late now. Pedro Pascal gets a lot of roles. He does a lot of...
He gets them all.
Yeah. For him to be Mr. Fantastic...
Listen to me, man. I have no beef with Pedro Pascal working. Good on you. You have a great agent. And, you know, these type of runs for actors are usually short-lived, except for a chosen few. The Hanks, the Pitts, the Cruises, you know, the Smiths of the world. Outside of that, you know, these runs where every role in Hollywood seems to land on your plate are short-lived. Sure. And so if we're talking about, you know, from The Mandalorian to Last of Us, he's just been a very busy actor.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he in Wonder Woman? Yeah, in 1984. I mean, he's been in a lot of things, in a lot of superhero content over the last 5 years. He's gonna be in the new Gladiator movie. Lord have mercy. But here's my thing with the Reed Richards casting. Number one, I don't think it's an adequate casting. Can he play the role? Absolutely. Physically, mannerism-wise, do I think he can carry the role of the smartest man on the planet? I don't. That could be my ignorance. I could be selling him short. But right now, as I envision the type of roles that Pedro Pascal has played, even back when he was on Game of Thrones, Reed Richards, not once, even in his most practical role, ever struck me as a possibility for Pedro Pascal. And also something to keep in mind is the amount of people who have been said to be tied to this role that either turned it down or the news about them playing it has gone completely left. Mm-hmm. Right? This feels a little bit like all of our best options said no. We need to get started. We have a very, very good household name in-house already with Pedro Pascal. 2 birds with 1 stone. 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, you keep Pascal under the umbrella and you solve your Reed Richards casting problem. My issue with it, beyond that I don't think he's a very good fit for the character, is that the rationale for this was that, oh, well, the Fantastic Four are too white. Oh, okay, that makes me grab my head. And then even on top of that, the answer to that is to make Pedro Pascal Reed Richards? That's your answer? Mm-hmm. Okay. And it is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know who I think Pedro Pascal would be good as? Hank McCoy.
He wouldn't be a bad Hank McCoy. I mean, obviously, he'd be under the prosthetics for most of the time.
Sure.
I could see him as... You know, he would have been excellent playing Kraven the Hunter. He would have been an excellent Kraven the Hunter. No disrespect to Aaron Taylor Johnson. I plan on seeing Kraven, but Pedro Pascal would have been an awesome casting for Kraven. I mean, is he brown enough to play one? I mean, no, he's white Latino, but is he brown enough to play one of the Proud Star brothers? Maybe that could happen. I don't know, man. Anything other than Reed Richards at this point, I don't see it. It doesn't feel like a fit. And then for one, your Fantastic Four are not too white. The Fantastic Four are white. They are like that. That is what they are. It's what they've been in every iteration except for Fan Four Stick, right? Like that is who they are. Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm, white people, all of them, and that's okay. You know what your real problem is that the MCU, your universe that you painstakingly put together, is too white. And your answer to that is not to take one of your most popular characters, one of your most popular IPs, the one with out of everything that you've put out in the MCU so far, Spider-Man, Avengers, Hulk, all of that stuff. I would say Fantastic Four probably has the longest standing and the most well established fan base. I mean, they're Marvel's first family. They will be, I guess, until you touch X-Men, they will be the oldest IP that you've touched as well. And Marvel. It does not make sense to take very old, very established people already have an expectation. You cannot keep people from having expectations. It is the silliest thing in the world. Go in without expectations. Okay, stop being human then. If it is that easy for you to just not care about something that you care to see, or if it is that important to you that you disconnect yourself from everything that you know and love about this character, why would I do that to buy something from you? Why would I turn my brain off and forget everything that I know about this character to buy something from you? You are asking me as a consumer to support you, to keep your business going by giving you my $9 at the box office. Well, to do that, I have a level of expectancy that shouldn't be so easily dismissed.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so easy just to say, oh, well, it didn't perform well because fans expected one thing and got another. Okay, well, that is the fault of the company. That is the fault of the producer. That is the fault of the person creating the product. These are not fan fiction, comic strips that are being put out on YouTube. Multi-million-dollar productions that you expect to recoup. Okay, so how about do what people want? And the last thing that people were asking for was, race swap Reed Richards. That'll get us in. That'll get butts in the seat, because race swapping has been going so well for you. It's been going so well for you. Move on from Pedro.
Yeah, speaking of casting decisions, Invincible, or the voice of Invincible, Steven Yeun, is going to be Sentry.
They're not learning, man. They're 100% not learning at all. I thought something might be shifting because of the cancellations and the rewrites and the pushbacks. If they do not understand at its core what made them fail in Phase 4, they will repeat the new mistakes with a revamped model, and it'll be the same results.
Mm-hmm. Insanity.
They do not understand what the problems are. Let's make our shows more episodic. Let's get some R-rated content in there. Let's space our releases out. All of that are minute changes that may, within the margins, save you some money or earn you some extra money. They do nothing to rebuild your brand recognition, which is in the toilet right now.
Mm-hmm.
It does nothing to invite the disaffected Marvel fans from Phase 4 and Phase 5 back.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not address your core issues. People want what they know from these characters. It is not racist. It is not misogynistic. It is not any ism or ist to want something. It's not. And if those same people then choose not to support it with their dollars, you can't call them misogynist because they didn't want to sign up for your vision of what this character was, given that it's already existed for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So with Steven Yeun playing
Sentry.
Bob Reynolds, right? White guy to me. And I mean the whitest guy. Like Superman with Thor hair is who Sentry is. And so the next time they have an animated feature where, akin to Avengers Assemble, right? Something like that, and the Sentry pops up. You think that he's going to be Steven Yeun? Do you think that he's going to be Korean? The next comic book that you pick up, if you happen to watch the Thunderbolts movie, which I for the life of me still don't understand why that's a thing. But if, you are motivated to go pick up a Sentry comic, I would suggest Michael Bendis's New Avengers run. They had a real big story arc with Sentry and the Avengers, Fantastic Four. They all kind of descended upon him to try to wrangle in the void. It's a real good, like 3, 4, 5 issues. It's kind of spread out against New Avengers, the Civil War title that was going on at that time. Good read. Pick it up. Guarantee you that guy looks nothing like Steven Yeun, and he never will again after this. You know, I've had my arguments with you about Jon Stewart and about Miles Morales, right? But on this one, he's 100% right. He's 1,000% right. This is not even that. Those are original characters that were created black, and anytime you ever see Jon Stewart, Miles Morales, or what have you, they will still be black. Mm-hmm. Answer to your lack of diversity is to say, oh, well, this is the character we want to do anyways. Let's just let a black person play it. Let's just let an Asian person play it. How are you creating lasting roles for those demographics in your MCU by doing this? You're not. And look what the result is. And the result is we got Sam Jackson and Chadwick Boseman as the only standalone. I guess you can call Sam Jackson the standalone lead now that he had a series, but them, and as soon as they had an opportunity to no longer perpetuate that role for the next black actor, in the case of T'Challa, of course, they did away with it. How many more movies do you think we're going to see Sam Jackson in? Man, 70 plus years old. How many Marvel movies do you think he's going to keep getting signed up? And then when he goes, guess how many black lead characters we have in the MCU? So 33 films, almost 23 years, and we are on the cusp of having no leading men in the MCU. Don't give me Falcon. Don't give me Falcon. His movie isn't even out yet. His show was so-so at best in terms of reception. At best, it was 50-50. And that's probably being a little bit generous. Because, I mean, the people who liked it are very loud about it, but there just aren't that many. Mm-hmm. Sam Wilson is not a leading man in the MCU yet. So once again, 33 films, 20 years. We had 2 lead positions. Hell, let's not even do it on the black side. Let's just go non-white. Sam Jackson, T'Challa, Shang-Chi, which happened in 2020. Mm-hmm. So we were still 30 plus films in, or pretty close to 30 plus films in. Black Widow, which had to wait until her character actually died to get a movie out. I mean, I guess if you want to call She-Hulk and Tatiana Maslany, or not Tatiana Maslany. Well, that is her name, but Miss Marvel, Imani Vellon. Okay, yeah. Like if you want to go as far as to call them lead characters, I think you're reaching a bit, but okay. So finally, in 2023, we have a Pakistani woman, we have a white woman, we got one old black man, no black women. Guess we'll keep pushing that bucket down the road. We got one Asian male. Am I missing anybody? I think everybody else is white. I'll give you Scarlet Witch. Okay. Two white women, one black man.
Oh wait, Secret Invasion.
I gave it to Sam Jackson.
Then Black Panther. So 2 black men.
Well, no. Do you? Is there an active T'Challa in the MCU right now?
Oh, active? Oh, no.
Yeah, no. Sorry. He didn't even get a follow-up. He got to be a supporting character in the big movie, in the big movies, Infinity War and Endgame, where he showed up for less than 30 minutes, less than an hour. But feature films, he has one project. Yeah. One. And I'll grant them that. You want to go two black men and make it 6 POCs? To make it 6 non-white leading characters in 20 years? Yes, please give us more Steven Yeun this century. That helps. Certainly solves the problem.
Casting that we have questioned for quite some time, and casting that I thought was dead and done with. Wonder Man is still apparently happening with Yahya as
they don't get it, man.
Lead.
They don't get it. And
I thought that was done
and
for.
out of the three things that we just named, the Fantastic Four movie starring Pedro Pascal, Steven Yeun is the Century, and Thunderbolts, I expect Wonder Man to flop the hardest. As much as it pains my heart to say that, because I love Yahya Abdul-Mateen as an actor, I think just about every series he's been in has been a hit to me. This is not going to be one. Similar to She-Hulk, similar to Moon Knight, similar to even, I guess, Ms. Marvel to a certain degree, this is a little-known character. Comic book readers know him very well. Normie fans, which is who they are attempting to attract with this nonsense, do not know who this person is. Half of them will see the online outrage about why people don't want to see this character being Yahya Abdul-Mateen and will either ascribe their own racist views to it, or they will see the legitimacy in the actual argument, which is Yahya Abdul-Mateen should be playing an original black character. You're getting ready to reboot the MCU. You're going to waste Yahya on Wonder Man before a reboot? So even more than Bob Reynolds, played by Steven Yeun, like, your literally is not going to matter at all. I don't understand why they do this. And then there's a rather lazy counter argument. Oh, well, it's racist if you try to segment actors into the roles that are strictly predicated on their race. This is not about telling black people to stay in their place. This is about getting black people on screen. Because again, if putting black characters in white roles, historically white roles, was successful, we see more black characters. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you would perpetuate those characters. You would continue to make them black, the same way you did with Sam Jackson. It was popular. It made money. So you kept it going. Who else are y'all doing that for? What other character are you changing the race of and making it permanent so that that character ends up being a sustained representational point for that community going forward? Not just throwing lip service to the wind and tossing scraps to Yahya and Steven Yeun, because these are still not very big characters. This Century may turn out to end up being something. I don't expect him to be any bigger than Captain Marvel, and probably a lot less because he's not getting his own feature film. He's the villain in someone else's feature film. So less than Captain Marvel. Yeah. And they didn't even give her a titled sequel. They gave her a team-up movie.
Yeah. That's not doing so well.
Why Glenn and Mr. Manhattan, you think, are going to turn around your fortunes playing in roles of characters that no one knows and that the comic book characters know, but they don't know them as them, is going to be successful? It has not been successful for you yet outside of Sam Jackson. It's the only hit. And even that is wearing thin. It's wearing thin. Because Secret Invasion, the back half of that series, was terrible. It makes me believe they're going to continue to make these movies the same way they've been making them, with slight changes that are supposed to signal to you that they get it. Oh, we get it. We understand. No, you don't. You do not. No. 100% do not. I am less interested in Wonder Man than I am in Echo at this point.
Agreed.
I don't want to see it. No one has been excited about this project. No one. There is no buzz around Wonder Man
at all.
The most buzz that show got was initially when Yahya Abdul-Mateen got announced as playing the role, mm-hmm. and then when it was rumored to be canceled. Yeah. What do you do? What type of market research are y'all doing?
Last week we discussed Kang not being a part. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
Might have been 2 weeks.
Recently we discussed Kang not being a part of the MCU, and it seems as if the main writer for the Kang Dynasty, is it Jeffrey Loveness?
Jeff Loveness, yeah.
Okay. Jeff Loveness is not a part of the Kang Dynasty anymore because they're going into a completely different direction.
We've been knew that, though. We've been knew that Jeff Loveness was not on Kang Dynasty anymore. We knew that after Quantumania. It's been really weird to hear them kind of repurpose stories that were already ran and try to make them new news about Jonathan Majors in particular. It's really weird. Like, the first one was, they considered after Quantumanium not going with the Kang direction because of the poor box office performance. Lady, okay, time travel back to fucking February. We already said this. That was already a thing. We already talked about this. We literally already talked about this. Same thing with Jeff Loveness. It was a very comical thing to watch Jeff Loveness try to, combat the trolls on Twitter only to get relieved of his duties after She-Hulk. Why we're taking that story from 9 months ago and repurposing it as a negative piece for Jonathan Majors. First of all, it could only be a variety. Second of all, I really want to get into this book that this lady wrote that has all these scoops. Like, I really need to get into it because, like, where are you getting this information from? A lot of the stuff you are saying, we have already been saying. So I'm on one half, I'm kind of appreciative that the narrative is breaking, but on the other side, I'm kind of like, hey, yo, what's your motive? Because, like, this information has been out here for almost a year now, and you seem to have a target.
Yeah.
In the purpose of you writing the story in general, it just
a little weird.
Why are we talking Kang like he's the bane of the MCU right now? Like he's the problem with it. Yeah, that whole Kang direction, that sucks. That's their problem. I'm sorry, what? What? Steven Universe Century. Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. We'll talk about the Marvels here in a few minutes and their box office projections. Jonathan Majors is the problem with the MCU? Like it sometimes
barely been in it.
Sometimes the bias is so blatant and naked that it is you can only laugh at it.
Yeah.
You can only laugh at it. Like, Jesus Christ, what does that have to do with anything? Are you contending with me that Jonathan Majors was the reason why Quantumania failed?
It was not that. He was a bright spot, actually.
Yeah, no. Jeff Loveness got fired several months ago. We knew that he wasn't going to be writing Kang Dynasty anymore. Now, he alluded to it may be because they're going in a different direction. Has it seemed in the 6 months since Jeff Loveness has been relieved of his writing duties at Marvel that they've been going in a different direction? I mean, they would have had all the opportunity in the world to change Loki season 2 if that was the case. They did not. Jonathan Majors played a very prominent role in his variants.
I was saying multiple roles.
Definitely didn't seem like a tying up of the Kang arc in Loki season 2. So, again, I really need to dig into this book and see who she's talking to, because where's the beef? You are writing on stories that happened almost a year ago, being predictive, and none of it has happened. Not to mention you afforded Kevin Feige and the whole and the whole crew the opportunity to pivot now that their perceived plan or what you thought was their plan has been leaked. So this is an interesting tidbit. We'll get a little bit political here, but not for very long. There was a bill brought in the U.S. House this week calling for a ceasefire in the ethnic cleansing that's going on in Palestine right now in Gaza. Usual suspects. It was the squad. ALC, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Presley. Usual suspects, right? AIPAC, the political organization. I don't know if they released a statement or if this was, a communication that some reporter got their hands on, but they are going to be committing over $100 million to not only combating the messages around, slowing down the conflict or slowing down the killing that is happening over there, but also to paint the IDF soldiers in a more positive light. And then to do so, they are enlisting several studios to help curb the message, right, in terms of media. One of those studios right at the top is Warner Brothers and David Zaslav.
Of course.
Right. Also the Universal. Universal. Both Zaslav and the CEO, or excuse me, is he the CEO? Sure, let's call him that. The CEO
or president
of Universal. Both have, political ties to the Israeli government. I am bringing this up because I feel like Warner Brothers and Zaslav have enough problems already. And to interject yourself into one of the most politically charged situations on the planet at the moment and be on the wrong side of it, like on the side of killing children. Let's just say we won't have too many Warner Brothers titles after rap shit that we'll be doing.
Sure.
I don't think. I mean, it's one thing to have a political stance. Maybe Zaslav a Jewish name. I don't know. But political propaganda from one of the biggest studios in the States is something that I'm not going to be a part of. And any studio that takes part in that. So anything that looks like an IDF soldier, like a superhero, and those bad rag wearers over there, the evil people who want to come in here and slit our children's throat, as Amy Schumer said to Asa Jackson a couple weeks ago, I'm not going to partake in any of that. Matter of fact, I'm going to do you worse than commenting on it and pubbing it up and pushing it out through the zeitgeist, through the ether. I'm going to ignore everything you put out. Every single last thing you put out until that situation is settled, until it's done.
Yeah.
And they're not the only ones. Disney is a real big pledger to the Israeli government as well.
Doesn't surprise me.
I don't know if they were part of this whole propaganda scheme, or if they're going to be a part of this whole propaganda scheme. But yeah, nah, man, that's pretty blatant, and I'm not here for it. So,
Creed 4 is supposedly in the works with Michael B. Jordan pegged to direct again. He directed 3, if I'm not mistaken, too, right? Which was a really good movie. I'm excited to see where they go.
Oh, we going? You know where we going? We going where that comic book is at right now with his
so
daughter
already?
Amara. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's time. They'll take a time jump. She'll probably be like junior Olympic age, like what she's in the book right now.
They did do a time jump to get us to 3, so
that's where we're going with it for sure. For sure. He may come out of retirement and fight somebody else, blah 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 blah. But I feel like this back half of the Rocky/Creed franchise is going to shift again. Right? We're from Rocky to Creed. We went from Rocky to Adonis Creed. I mean, and even within the Rocky series, they had attempted to pass it off. They attempted to have like a swan song moment, but people love those Balboa movies too damn much.
Yeah.
So, they kind of faked this out a couple of times. Tommy Gunn thing, the Mr. T fight where he was supposedly retired, and that kind of thing. But it has always been a naturally progressing story. It's always moved forward. So with Adonis in Creed 3, he's established. He's building businesses. He's defending his title belt. The fight against Dane was supposed to be a blast to the past for Adonis, like going back to his young years, kind of reminiscent of Balboa versus Drago after Creed, after Apollo went down. It kind of only makes sense for me since all this time and effort has been put into the comic book and creating that storyline that's kind of been branching out. I think Amara is next up. Also, there's been more kind of expanding on the entire Creed family in the comic book. Not to spoil things for you, definitely go pick it up. It's a good read. But expanding the Creed family beyond Apollo and Felicia Rashad.
Yeah,
can't think of her name right now. He always calls her mom. But I'm here for Creed 4. I am here for Creed 4, man. And he's directing again, which means it's going to be a consistent vision. Should be a direct follow-up from what we just got in Creed 3, just with a time jump. Is what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, I mean, basically from everything you just kind of pointed out, it just seems like they have a good idea of where they want to go direction-wise, which is good. And, says a lot for what's going to become Creed 4. Sure. So I'm excited for it as well.
Sure. It also makes sense why now, after the fact that I've seen what's come out after Creed 3 premiered, it kind of makes sense that he separated himself from Rocky, because let's say he starts training Amara. Shit, Rocky probably gonna be dead in this next movie. But let's say he starts training Amara. Rocky shows back up. Who's the elder statesman in that situation? Like, who's the better trainer at that moment? Rocky. Rocky steals the show. And so for us to be paying attention to Amara and her relationship with her dad, the dynamic with her father, Rocky would low-key serve as a distraction. I know that sounds sacrilegious. We're talking about a offshoot from a Rocky franchise. But I do believe it would draw too much of the attention away from what I believe is going to be the focus in his daughter. So we'll see how that all shapes out.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about the Marvels yet again. Because not only did they open with what was supposedly the MCU's worst opening weekend, but they have also dropped quite a bit to the tune of 87%.
Friday to Friday, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's not looking well. That was the title of the last video, but it's not looking good.
No, it's not good. It's not going to be good. Kind of like what we were talking about through the first half of this segment. Pedro, Steven Yeun, Wonder Man. Like, I don't think that they understand. And honestly, the Marvels doing what it did kind of proves the point, right? Like, even if you're not doing, first of all, your brand recognition is at such an all-time low that you really aren't able to convince people to consume Marvel in the way that they used to. Like, even think about some of the movies that have been successful, you know, going on, like Guardians 3. That was a profitable film. But the pre-sale preview numbers were way down compared to the third movie, right? And that has been a trend with most Marvel movies dating back to No Way Home. It's just kind of been like that. Wakanda Forever, pre-sales down. Quantumania, pre-sales down. I remember them, what was the Eternals? That was a big thing with Eternals, right? They didn't get a lot of positive feedback in the early screeners and things of that nature, so they relied heavily on the trades to call it the best Marvel movie ever. That is not. You can't depend on that. First of all, the trades are not on your side anymore.
Yeah,
the trades are quoting a tabloid book to report what's going on in your studio right now. They are not on your side. And if they're not on your side, the public's not on your side.
And even when the trades do say something positive, nobody believes them.
They have to win, man. They have to win. And I'm not even saying The Marvels is a bad movie. What I'm saying is it didn't have a chance. Yeah. It is fighting an uphill battle. That battle is not solely misogyny. It's not solely racism.
It's not solely
every person who didn't decide to go purchase a ticket and go see The Marvels is not racist. And it's silly and naive of people to even try to make that argument. It takes all the pressure off of Marvel. Well, if everybody who didn't see this movie is racist, we shouldn't do anything different. We should just keep making movies for the non-racist people. That would be my attitude. I'm not doing anything to appease racists. You're oversimplifying the issue so that you don't have to throw blame back at some of the people that you're supporting.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige has to wear this. Bob Iger has to wear this. Cast, not so much. Nia DaCosta, y'all know how I feel about that. I'm not blaming her for shit. Y'all decided to make the second Captain Marvel movie a team-up film with a young starlet who didn't have the best introduction viewership-wise, numbers-wise. So she's still relatively green to the viewing audience. And then you made Monica Rambeau sit on the shelf for 2 years. 3 years. This is 2023.
Yeah.
Didn't have a chance. Didn't have a chance. I mean, like, I was optimistic before hearing about Blade, hearing about Daredevil. Those things sound good. But now I'm just thinking, what are they going to replace it with? What are they going to replace it with? I'm having a hard time seeing Kevin Feige, knowing what I know now. Right? Seeing what's out, seeing what is continuously being put out. I don't think when when Kevin Feige looked at the Blade script and seen what was on there, I don't think that he said the 3 female leads in front of Blade is the problem.
Sure.
Lack of action scenes, yeah, that's pretty blatantly obvious. Him passing the mantle off in the first movie seems pretty ridiculous. But I don't think that the positioning of the characters was particularly his problem.
Sure.
Because, I mean, where else has that shown to be the case? Where else has he adjusted? He had time to fix She-Hulk. He had time to fix
Eternals.
He had time to go back and adjust all these things. And it's not like the things are being said about the MCU haven't been being said for some years now. I think that they have gotten, creatives in general have gotten so good at blocking out external noise that sometimes reasonable criticisms fall into that noise bucket.
Sure. And
they just sweep it all out. And they're like, oh, we know how to fix the problem. And they have no clue. Create the characters how they are, how we know them, how we came to love them in the first place. And nothing really outside of that would do you wrong. I don't feel like they have this like edict. They have this decision-making process that says we have to put our own spin on this somehow. And I don't know why. Why is it incumbent on you to change, even if it is the most minute detail about the character? Why is it incumbent on you to do that? Why is it incumbent on you to introduce diversity into your studio by way of introducing black actors into white roles? What has it earned you? What has it gotten you? I mean, I'll tell you what it's gotten you. It's gotten you an actor like Sam Jackson, Academy Award nominated, Academy Award winning. He got the honorary award last year before Will smacked Chris Rock. As a garnish, he's parsley. He's MCU parsley. They tried to make him asparagus in Secret Invasion, and he just came out parsley again. He's garnish. By far the most experienced actor in that studio.
Yeah.
Most world-renowned. And they've reduced him to garnish. T'Challa's gone. Monica Rambeau can't be seen on screen without another white woman. Falcon been back here playing sidekick for 7 years, and now all of a sudden I'm supposed to look at him and be like, "Yep, that's MC lead right there." Anthony Mackie. That's him. That's it. But again, even that is not all his fault. But I know how to fix it. I know how we handle our lack of, prominent black superhero problems. Let's make Wonder Man black.
Let's make Sentry Asian.
I don't get it.
Let's make Reed Richards Hispanic.
Give us your thoughts. What do you think about everything discussed here in the Behind the Cape segment? Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Put everything you thought in the comment prompt below and come back next week for another episode.
Absolutely. Make sure that you check out our previous video where we discussed the Marvels huge drop of the ball in the first week. And then make sure you check out our playlist full of Behind the Cape stories where we discuss plenty of other Marvel, DC, etc. news.